Hi, it's Ronnie, and welcome to A Punched Out Thursday to Die For, where we all use our punches and or dies to create our layout. And I'm going to scrap these two photos of Reagan when she was much smaller. And that is a flower and vine die, and then a couple of my alphabet dies, a Spellbinders and Echo Park one. Then I have a Stampin' Up! With a cup and a spoon, but I'm going to use my cup as a bowl and cut the handle off, and a bow punch. The paper I'm using is Cartabella, and I think it's country something. It is country something. I know country's in the title. Even though a lot of the paper says from the farm to the table, and that's what I thought it was, I did notice it said something about country. I'm using the stitch dies on my frames there, and I've got three mats behind my photo. The my doily, of course, is white, so everything in here is more on the vintage side. So I thought I'd go ahead and ink that in the old paper, I think that was, and make it look more vintage too. I was just going to use that one sheet as the whole thing, and then I decided I wanted green on the bottom to give it a little bit of variety. And I'm going to just mount it on cardstock. Rather than try to piece the two together and get them to stay together, I'd rather put them on another piece of cardstock. And that cardstock matches the little green stripe that's in the plaid there. Oh, here I decided since it wasn't inked, I needed to ink it. So I am using, oh, it's close to my heart, and it's clover green, I think is what it's called. It's a lighter green than some. And I said go ahead and ink a little bit on the plaid too. So I did go all the way around. I guess I cut more than I thought out of there. I thought I started and then finished, but apparently not. It looks like it just started. I'm going to put my two photos right on the like borderline between the two, and then put my fussy cut border along there. You can just cut it straight, but I was wanting to make it fussy cut, and those are just such cute jars. I mean, they have pickles and tomatoes and I don't know what all in there. And then there's some little daisies too. And I wanted just to go ahead and fussy cut them out to give them more depth and the dimension to the layout. This is that Stampin' Up! Spoon. I didn't go ahead and cut the fork and knife out because all Reagan was using was her spoon. Well, she dropped her spoon. And I happened to notice she was sucking the noodles up into her mouth. Sometimes, I think she had to put her finger down there and get it. But by the time I noticed it, she was putting one up there on the edge and was sucking it up there. And of course, I had to go find my camera. That was not back when I had a good phone to take a picture with my phone and take the picture. So all I've got's her mouth on the bowl and she's looking at it. I think she's getting a little full because I waited for her to do it again and she didn't get any more. But at least I got her mouth on the bowl. So I do have that part of the memory. This is the vine from the flower and vine, and I'm going to have a couple of noodles come out of my bowl. Looking at my bowl while I was editing, I was thinking maybe I'll go back and round the top of it. It's straight across. The cup is, because it is actually a cup and I cut the handle off. And I was thinking it'd look better if I rounded it on the top instead of having it straight across. So I might end up doing that if I keep looking at it. At the moment, I haven't quite made up my mind, but I'm thinking I probably will, just to see how it looks, because I can always cut out another one if it don't look any different. But I inked the noodles in that old paper, and just to give them a little more dimension looking. And I'm going to have them kind of flow out of the bowl. It's just going to be a couple of noodles. She didn't have much left in her bowl, so I didn't think I needed very many. Her and Charlie are sitting at the little kids' table together eating, And Charlie's using proper etiquette. And I did take her photos too. So I will have that to scrap, but she isn't doing anything improper at all. So I thought maybe the title of hers might be using proper etiquette or something like that. I'm making a bow. I thought I'd put it on that spoon up there. And that is just a little, I believe that's EK Success. And it's just a tiny bow, so I'm just going to stick it up there. And instead of having the ribbon ties, the back part of it, go straight across, I kind of clipped it in the center and folded it. And they're going to hang down just a little bit. The spoon, I'm kind of tucking it in a little bit underneath the jars, but I wanted the bottom part of the spoon to show so you could tell that it was a spoon, so I didn't tuck it in very far at all. I thought about putting the border all the way across. Then I decided just to put 3. Then it hit me, it may not show up very well. Well, it didn't. So I'm pulling it back up, and then I'm going to get out a border punch and punch a border instead. Even though I did think at first about putting those 3 scallops on there. But this is the border punch I picked, and it's a Martha Stewart one I've had a long time. It's the kind that don't even fold up. I've had it that long. It was one of my first border punches. But while I'm doing that, I want to mention that down there below, you'll find the links to everybody else that is doing a Punched Out Thursday to die for this week, and see what they create with their punches and or dies. I kept looking up there at that border and thought it looked a little bit on the plain side. I first considered using that plaid paper. Instead, I decided to use the pink plaid that was behind the photos and bring it up there to the top a little bit too. And all I'm going to do is just do that strip across there, but then I'm going to decide it needs a little bit more. The back of the plaid paper, it has roses on it. So I cut one of them out, and I'm going to use the sticker, and the sticker says love this. And I'm just going to kind of tuck it behind the flower, and that's going to be my cluster up there. I'm not going to have much added to it. Down there where the doily is, my plan was to put a sticker behind the bowl and the spoon, maybe something that said something, or maybe even something round. I forgot all about it once I got to thinking about the border, so nothing ends up there. This is my title, and it's a little bit long, but I like long titles. So it says, when you drop your spoon and have to get creative. I first thought of using when you drop your spoon, you do what you got to do. But then I decided to make it get creative because she was being pretty creative. Instead of bothering to pick her spoon up, she went ahead and figured out another way to eat those noodles. I fussy cut one more rose to put down there with my title, and that's it. That's my layout for today. And yeah, there's my kind of long title. I did put foam tape behind the spoon, but I had a hard time getting the strip being narrow enough without seeing a whole lot of the white, so I just took it back off. I didn't do it on the whole thing, just the first 2 letters, and took it back off. But isn't that the cutest border? I mean, it being Cartabella to start with, it has that textured paper and beautiful, beautiful colors. So yeah, I couldn't resist fussy cutting it out. But if you leave a comment down there below, I'll try to get back with you. And if you like the video and hit a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. And if you are not subscribed to my channel, I would love to have you subscribe. And those of you already are, thank you so much. I appreciate each and every one of you. But have a happy, scrappy week. Take care and stay safe. Pull out your punches and dies. Bye.